I was born just off the coast of Northern California. The gray whales move through that area at least twice a year, and my mom said that on the night I was born, she heard the song of the humpback. My family had been living in that part of the ocean for more than 2,000 years. That's where I thought I'd live out my entire life. I still dream about it every night. I hear the waves smashing against those rocks, smell the salty air and the wind through the pines, or I'm back with my brothers and sisters again, chasing each other through the underwater caves and seeing who can stay down the longest. That water was so clean you could see clear across the Sound on a sunny day. Who'd want to wake up from that sort of dream?
A few hundred miles away, two Canadian businessmen were attending a convention in Oakland, California. During their stay, they toured a local theme park. They decided that their own town of London, Ontario should have one just like it. Plans for their park included a pool for sea lions.
With a new venture in parks construction, a feature that is known as the children's playground or fairyland. It's become very popular in certain parts of North America. One now in Montreal is brand new, another one in Oakland, California, proposed one for Denver. We think this would be a very popular attraction for London and an added advantage for our parks program. We now over here we have a model here, and this particular space of which the model is made from includes the area between the bird enclosure and the monkey enclosure and is directly opposite the deer enclosure. And there will be many others, and I'm sure you're really going to like them.
On June 25th, the strangest village in this part of Canada will open its gate to thousands of children. Standing somewhere nearby will be 5 big businessmen, nervously awaiting their decision. Will the kids like it? A small fortune hangs in the balance. The London Free Press.
Storybook in 1958, I think, was a beginning of a child's book of verse. You could go up to Humpty Dumpty and put your arms around him and stand on that big wall that he was on. You could see the 3 pigs. You could see Old MacDonald's farm and the animals on Old MacDonald's farm. You could see the 3 bears and Goldilocks asleep upstairs.
The previous night, 2 sea lions had been flown into Detroit from California. London's PUC had paid $150 for each of them. Although local officials didn't know it, one was named Cyril. It was rumored he'd been trained as a performing seal, but failed the course.
Water has a tremendous fascination for people. If you can get waterfall, water pools, animals in water, if there's water there, people will go and look. What is in there? What is in the water? So it was really very, very important that they come up with a nice design for a pool and get something like, obviously, sea lions in that pool.
But construction of Storybook had fallen behind. It was obvious to officials that the park would not be fully operational by opening day. A fence around the perimeter of the gardens was not complete, and the railing around the sea lion pool had not been screened in.
And the park was only not quite ready. Well, it really wasn't ready. The fences weren't completed. They dumped these poor little sea lions in this beautiful pool they had built full of water, but the water was higher than they expected. And anyway, that's fine. The sea lions love water, but they can climb too.
And the water level rose, obviously, significantly, to the point that Slippery ended up virtually right on the level of the top of the pool. I am sure that he was as surprised as any of we were when he flipped out over. Of course, you know how they can stand up, or just stand up on their hind flippers and that, and they're front heavy, or what we would call top heavy. And I'm sure that he just got up and his own weight flipped him over. And how was he going to get back in? He was, you know, so the next thing you do is you go for the nearest water, which of course is the Thames River that runs across the north side of the park.
Early the next morning, an employee at a nearby pump house was returning home. As he glanced towards the gardens, he saw something making its way towards the river. He contacted Storybook's curator, Don Smith. When Smith arrived at work a few hours later, he found himself short one sea lion. PUC employees combed the banks of the Thames River for miles. Officials made frantic phone calls to California for tips on capturing sea lions. In the meantime, Storybook employees improvised. Workers recorded the barks of the remaining sea lion and played them along the river in hopes of attracting Cyril. Cyril either wasn't listening or didn't care. No one had bothered to check to see if he was male or female. Then news came that a fisherman in Delaware, a few miles downstream, had spotted the animal playing under a bridge. Authorities were notified downstream, but all they could do was watch the animal